Today, we are going to take a journey back to Grandma's kitchen and make the most addictive fried green tomatoes that you're probably going to eat this summer. I bet they'll have you hooked from the first bite. If you are new here, my name is Rhonda and I live on an old tobacco patch. I create cooking videos to leave a legacy for my family and because I love the video making process. It also leaves a trail of memories that can be accessed and enjoyed at any given time. And you know what else? I also love helping you bring the taste and the flavors of Grandma's kitchen to your table. I mean, who doesn't have fond memories of their grandmother and her cooking? I sure do. Do me a quick favor and leave me a comment if you are somewhere other than the South and you are familiar with fried green tomatoes. What are your memories of this delicacy that are different than mine? Come on and meet me in the kitchen and we'll get started. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is make me a dipping sauce for these fried green tomatoes because I have to dip them in something. And some days I feel spicier than others, but what I'm going to use today is a cup of mayonnaise, 3 tablespoons of Creole mustard, 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of horseradish sauce, and I use the prepared kind. It's actually the Arby's horsey sauce. A teaspoon of Creole seasoning, and I'm going to use this Tony's. A teaspoon of white vinegar, a teaspoon of garlic powder, onion powder, 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne. And I'm going to taste it at that point and see if I want just a little more kick. Some days I feel like spice, some days not so much. Okay. In goes the mayo. Ooh, that smells good. One, 2, 3. I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons horseradish, now I need a teaspoon of Creole. Like I say, I'm going to use this Tony's today. See if this will go in. One teaspoon white vinegar, one teaspoon garlic, 1 teaspoon onion powder. And I'm going to do, there's a quarter, there's a half. I'm going to do 1/8 of this cayenne, which will be half of that one. And then we'll see where we go from there. I'm going to use my whisk, but I've got it all over my spatula, so let me use that first. Oh, that's a lot of flavor in one bowl. Get all these spices off the back of that spatula. Really looks like it would have a lot of flavor, doesn't it? You better believe it does. All right. Woohoo! That's it. Now, I'm just going to put this in the refrigerator and let it be chilling and get started on my fried green tomatoes. Here's a list of all the ingredients we're going to use today. I'm going to use 3 small green tomatoes just because that's what I have. I'm going to use a teaspoon of salt, a half teaspoon sugar, 1/4 teaspoon black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon dried basil, maybe some cayenne, we'll see. I've got a cup of all-purpose flour, which I'm going to add some seasoning to. That's our first dredging station. Then we're going to have 1 egg and a cup of buttermilk mixed together in this dredging station. Then I've got a cup of breadcrumbs and 1 1/4 cups of cornmeal mix, and just our spices. So that's the ingredients we're going to use today. So let's get started. Alright, I'm going to start out by slicing up my green tomatoes. I've already washed them, and these came straight out of the garden. Trying to get them about 1/4 inch thick. I don't want to have to cook them real long to get them done. They'll get too brown for me. Lay them over here on the towel so that it will be soaking some of the water out of them. 1/4 inch. Well, they're getting firm. I'm not going to slice my finger. Those are tough. All right. Now, while I'm waiting for these to dry a little bit, I'm going to put some seasoning on them. Mix that up. All right, I'm going to set these to the side and let the water soak out of them the best I can. I'm going to take my first dredging station, which is my all-purpose flour, and I want to put some of those same seasonings in it. So I'm going to put a little basil, just so that it has flavor. I'm not measuring it. This is all according to how much flour you're using and how much seasoning you want on your batter. Now, I might put just a touch of cayenne in mine. Not a lot. I think I'm going to put a little Tony's. Salt. I think Tony's has salt. I'll have to double check, so I'm not going to get carried away. Pepper. So that's salt, pepper, basil, Tony's seasoning. Give that a little whisk. Also on my second dredging station, let me go ahead this is 1 egg and 1 cup of buttermilk. Perfect. I guess I'll go ahead and mix these together. This is my cornmeal mix and my panko breadcrumbs. And all else fails, use your hand. Now this will be a snack for me today, so it doesn't hurt you. I use my hands in my kitchen, so it's the best tools you got. Okay, let's get these ready. We got our seasoned fried green tomatoes, which are first going to go in the flour, all-purpose flour mixture. Get it all the way around and then tap off the excess. Then into the buttermilk egg. I could be doing this with a utensil. And then into the panko cornmeal. Set it there to get ready. While I'm preparing these tomatoes, let me share a story with you that I've heard about fried green tomatoes. Now, we think of fried green tomatoes as being a southern thing or a southern delicacy, and they are. But I have understood or read before that back in Granny's day, ladies of the house had a seasonal problem with tomatoes. Now, I'm sure this did not happen where I live in the deep south because we don't have this problem. But what would happen is not all of the tomatoes on the vine would be red by the time the first frost came. So this was a way to save those green tomatoes and still enjoy them in the kitchen, and nothing went to waste. And I think that is so neat that nothing goes to waste. They found a use, and what they used to do is they would season them with salt and pepper, and then they would fry them in butter. And I bet they were delicious, especially if they had a good dipping sauce as well. These are going to be so crispy and delicious. You definitely want your grease hot enough that when you lay them in there, they start frying right away. Now, once I get them all in there and it comes back up to the temperature that it was, you may see me regulate it. See if I can get them all in there. I think so. They do not have to fry long just because I sliced them so thin. But I do want to get that batter cooked good, and I want those tomatoes are firm, so I want to soften them up a bit. This is probably the hardest part of making fried green tomatoes, is getting them done without them becoming, oh, look at that, without them becoming soggy, greasy, or too brown. That's why I like to slice mine pretty thin. These are looking perfect so far. You see me and hear me cleaning up as I go, but you have to be very careful with that. Make sure they're not getting too brown. Oh, they're beautiful. These will make an excellent snack today. And the green tomatoes are not going to waste. My tomatoes are done with in the garden. I've picked and got a bunch of ripe ones on the porch. I'm eating tomato sandwiches every day. Well, today I'm going to have fried green tomatoes. And remember the sauce we made and put in the refrigerator? Now what we want here is for them to be golden crisp, and that's really the secret. I mean, if you'll just work with your grease, have it hot enough when you put them in there, they start frying right away. That'll set that crust on the outside. Oh, these are going to be delicious. And they're thin enough, you've got them done in just a few minutes. Don't get them too brown. I'm going to lay these out on a baking sheet to drain just a little. I might put a touch of salt on them. No, I'm not, because my dipping sauce is pretty salty. Turn my grease off. Aren't those beautiful, y'all? We have sliced our green tomatoes and dried them. Then we seasoned them. Then we dredged them in a seasoned flour, then a buttermilk egg, then a cornmeal panko dredge. So we got them battered good. We had our grease at the perfect temperature when we laid them in. They started sizzling good right away. It was not too hot. They did not start smoking. We let them cook a couple of minutes on each side. We brought them out when they were crispy golden brown. And to me, that's the perfect fried green tomato. He's crispy, he's golden, he's got a delicious sauce to be dunked into, and they turn out this way every time. Okay, I'm gonna let these cool for about 15 minutes, then I'm gonna grab my dipping sauce and we'll give them a taste. Okay, are y'all ready to try them? I don't wanna wait too long. It's probably still warm, but if I wait too long, it'll be cold. Isn't that pretty? Got flour on my thumb. See if they're crispy. Oh yeah. I'm not going to break him. I'm just going to go ahead and dip him in my sauce and give it a taste. That is delicious. Crunchy. It's soft on the inside. It's not still firm. That sauce has got some good kick, but it's not too hot. Oh, wow. What a snack. Oh, that's the perfect crispness. In this video, as I mentioned earlier, please leave me a comment if you're from a region other than the South and have made fried green tomatoes. I would love to hear the different variations from different regions. If you have never made fried green tomatoes, I challenge you to do so. Though there are a few steps involved, it's so worth the effort. If you do make them, please share a picture in the comment section of this video. Thank you for joining me today as I traveled back to Grandma's kitchen. If you are interested, check out my other videos for more Southern deliciousness. And as always, I encourage you to like, comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe so you can help me get these videos out there. I hope you are all having a wonderful summer, and I will talk to you later.